Hey yo, what's good, everybody? Your boy is back, and this episode is brought to you by the Baltimore Ravens hit squad. Detroit, we coming for you, sucker. You next on the hit list. What is good, everybody? Your boy's here. It's been a while. We got some conversations to have. Now, your boy need to know. All right, y'all think we gonna pull this out against Detroit? I think we got it. I think we could pull it out. Even though I did in a stream earlier this week pick Detroit to win 24-17. It's something about what Mike McDonald is doing with this defense that is absolutely amazing. These boys come to play every game, and I think this week could be no different. Normally, I'd be negative Nancy out here, but the Ravens are coming to play. I feel good about this Sunday. I feel good about today. And before I continue, let me give a shout out to everybody that's in the building. We got Living Legend. What's good? My normal co-host, B Square, is in the building. Mr. Bazel, 86 Ghost. Go check out his channel. The boy got some fire content. Right along with him, Mr. J6. Another one. Fire content. These two have been killing the game the last couple days, man. On top of it, stepping in for where your boy fell off. All right. We got Miss Yolanda in the building. Miss Yolanda, thank you. I'm feeling a lot better than I was. Still a little under the weather, but I couldn't sit here and let my people starve for content. I had to come back and give you something, right? And what better way to do it than in a pregame show? So let's get this rolling, right? Ravens come into this game off of a semi questionable victory over Tennessee, but I think this is the week we finally have to prove all doubters wrong, including myself, right? I've been an open doubter of the Baltimore Ravens this year. So this is the week they prove me wrong. This is the week they prove a lot of people wrong. We come out against a 5-1 Detroit Lions, who historically we own them. And I don't think that has anything to do with talent on the roster, and I think it has everything to do with mentality entering the game. So our defense is going to be the key here. And coming out, playing tough, hard-nosed football is going to be the only way we can beat the Detroit Lions. I think we'll put a stop to the run game, right? I think we can hold their run game down. It's the passing that we're worried about. But don't worry about that because we've had an unlikely hero this year at cornerback by the name of Brandon Stevens. The man is actually playing some pretty good football. Now, I get it. He gets toasted every once in a while, and it's expected. He's played 75 positions since he started football. But he's playing darn good for a young man who's thrusted into the starting lineup that didn't expect to be there. Salute to you, Brandon Stevens. Keep growing. Keep up the good work. And that brings me to another defensive back who year after year improves his worth on this roster. And that man is Geno Stone. Geno Stone has been an absolute beast when on the field. Interception. He's reading the offense very well. He knows the defense. And it makes you kind of question on what the reason was for even drafting another safety. But Kyle Hamilton, he's also been playing well. albeit he's been playing well as a defensive end and pass rusher, he has been going crazy. And with the addition of Kyle Van Noy and excuse me, sorry about that, Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney, our pass rush has seemed to come alive the last couple games. We've been getting pressure. Last week, we actually brought the quarterback down. Now, that could be because we're facing quarterbacks that hold on to the ball too long and a terrible offensive line, but maybe actually seeing the QB go down was what these guys needed to get them started. Everybody needs something to get them a boost, and maybe that was what it took. Maybe last week was the boost they needed to get going. And I see Miss Yolanda. First off, Jay has a great question here. Miss Yolanda, when are you returning to the screen? We would like to see you back. We love the content you provide. We love your thought process. Please hurry back to the screen. And she responds. She says she will return soon. Okay. And 08 is back today, which is huge in a way because, no pun intended there, it's huge because if he can come in and provide what he's supposed to provide, then this team is looking up, up and away, right? We can come out here and do something great today if we beat Detroit. We can prove that we belong as a top 10 team in the NFL. Yes, sir, Mr. Hendo. But every once in a while, it has to happen. I know my co-host has been busy the last few days, so it was time for me to step up and do something, right? Again, excuse me. I'm still sick, still trying to get over this. You could probably hear it in my voice, so I'm fighting it back here. But we are looking at a situation where, in my books, the Ravens can jump from being a middle-of-the-pack team to a top 10 team. Because in my eyes, they're just outside that top 10. And Mr. Hendo over at the Rogue Pod, he knows exactly how I feel about him. And we've had this conversation several times. So, y'all, do me a favor. Go subscribe to his channel, by the way. The Rogue Pod. Great content. Phenomenal content. He did a live yesterday. I absolutely loved it. Every second of it. Him and Brodney. Those two might be one of the best duos on screen. Just saying. The chemistry is crazy. She says, Miss Yolanda says she wants each of us to come back and thank her later. Well, Owe gets 2 sacks today. So listen, I promise you, I didn't plan on necessarily doing a post-game show, but seeing as if we get this W and Owe gets 2 sacks, I will be the first one to jump on here and thank Yolanda for those 2 sacks. I promise you. I will jump on immediately. Even if I do it from my phone for 5 minutes, I will jump on here immediately. Okay? Yeah, this is true. This is true. I'll say this. I will say this. Hendo is very consistent. If he feels a certain way about a player, he's going to stay feeling that way. And then if he has to eat his words, he will. Reluctantly, but he will. But I feel like this is the week to show up and show out, right? I think another key is going to be running back. If we can move the ball, I know the Lions have the number 1 rush defense in the league. If we can find a way to pick up a few yards on the ground, we don't have to go crazy, just a few yards here and there, just to keep the defense, looking for the run, so that way we can still use the play action. We got God's child in the building. What's good, fam? We have to figure out a way to pick up a few yards on the ground, just a few. Because if we could get a few yards on the ground, just to keep the defense honest, and then hit them with the play action over top, it's going to open up a lot for our offense. And I do want to see Lamar Jackson sling the ball all over the field, but we can't forget how important it is to run the ball. And I think a key part of that is going to be Keaton Mitchell. We need to get him on the field. He has game-changing speed. This dude can provide something for our offense that it's been lacking for a long time, especially with, JK being hurt. He can bring what JK was supposed to bring, right? He's not as big, so he's not going to necessarily run through as many guys, power through as many tackles, but he's going to get around them. He's going to break a few ankles. And I don't know about you, but I don't want my quarterback having to run the ball consistently to get us the rushing yards we need. We can't continue to risk his health, especially early in the season. Now, come playoffs, if you want to send Lamar on a few runs to go pick up some necessary yards and points, do it. Do it all day. But during the season, we need to prolong his health so that we make the playoffs in the long run and are as healthy as possible. We obviously see Odell isn't the guy he used to be, but he still provides valuable depth in the wide receiver room. But it's pointless if you don't have Lamar Jackson to get him the ball. Same thing goes for Zay, Mark Andrews. Unfortunately, Isaiah Likely, somebody please tell me if you can find him because he has not shown up whatsoever this season. So someone please put an APB out on Isaiah Likely because I can't find him. I can't find him at all. Like, I need him to show up at some point, right? Because we all know Charlie Kolar ain't the answer. And we can't keep sending Drewski out, our 300-pound fullback hybrid out on routes to catch the ball, even though he seems to be doing that better than Likely right now. In the sense he just saw Likely at Arby's. If Likely's at Arby's eating that nasty steak and cheese they got, then he won't be at the game. You scratch him off the list. Yeah, listen. I understand that, right? And big ups for that. But we need you to do more to make one play and disappear. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many times have we seen Isaiah Likely with a big catch in the first quarter and then never hear from him again? I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of that. Like, I need him there for the full game. I need you to show up and show out. Like you did. I want you to play like you did last year when Tyler Huntley was the quarterback. Y'all remember that? That's when he convinced us all that he was going to be a useful talent. So I need that Isaiah Likely back. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the scheme just isn't sitting well with him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that sophomore slump. But stop. I need you to stop calling him my GM. All right. That's we not gonna do that. We're not gonna keep calling him my GM. All right. We're not gonna do Eric the Roaster. Mr. DaCosta is not very good. He's not on my good side right now because of the number of questionable draft decisions he's made. And I must admit, even this year's draft, this past draft we just had, I thought there was a few guys in there that were going to be better than what they have been thus far. We all know one of them. I still think he's going to be a good talent in the league. He's just not on our team anymore. I'm not going to say his name, but y'all know who it is. And then I want to see more of Trenton Simpson. I want to see him grow to be something. And Yolanda, you got a real hatred for Sashi Brown, don't you? Like you strongly dislike that man. I get it. He's part of the problem too. But you strongly dislike Sashi Brown, and it's crazy. And we're not gonna do that, Hendo. I'm not even putting that comment up here. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that, sir. I won't say he can't play. Right? He can play, but I think he plays a certain style. I think Trenton Simpson is better off in coverage and then maybe coming on a blitz, not as a dedicated pass rusher or a dedicated inside linebacker. He can kind of play the he can kind of play that Kyle Hamilton role. So I think he's a guy that we can actually use in the future. He doesn't have to replace Queen, but he can play that Kyle Hamilton type role. I think that fits him perfect, his play style perfectly. And Yolanda says Sashi Brown upset. So we can see this. We can see this. We have a YouTube dedicated history to how much you dislike Sashi Brown. I'm not gonna. You know what, Brandon? Whatever. I'm gonna let it go. It's hard to trust a man named Sashi. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. That is not a trustworthy name, right? So here's my thing. B squared. Sassy Sashi? Yeah. I had to put that one up there. I had to. He would be. This man would have been on the field with all those injuries, and I know who you're talking about. And he would have been making plays too. I'm telling you now, he would have been making plays. All he needed was the experience and the time to grow. It's kind of like it would have been trial by fire, much like it's been for Brandon Stevens. It's been trial by fire, and Stevens has proven that he's getting better. He's getting better and better and better, right? And I made a statement. I think it was last week or week before last. Oh yeah, but Simpson, listen, we don't have the injuries at the right position for Simpson to get on the field. As crazy as that sounds, we don't have the injuries at the right position, which is I'm thankful for. Our linebackers are healthy. Our pass rushers aren't healthy, but we got Calvin away. Like I said, he's not a dedicated pass rusher. He would be a guy you would send on a blitz. So he's not really in position to step on the field for the guys that are hurt. He can cover. I feel he can cover better than Kyle Hamilton, though. And I'll go back and watch the college tape, and I'll stand on that. He covers better than Kyle Hamilton. But that's not saying much, though. But this is not true because last week we did a phenomenal job of getting to the quarterback rushing 4. We didn't use the blitz as much last week as we normally do because we were able to get home. And I think that's where you'll see the difference in our defense. If we're able to get home with 4 like we did last week, that makes this defense ultra dangerous because now we enable those guys to play the zone and fall back and cover everything tight, especially in the short field when you're inside the red zone. You're right, 1 out of 5 games. And I said it was because of that defense over there. What's good, baseball lifestyle? We need to get pressure. We're front early, and it's going to be front. Yes. If we could get pressure early, it's going to be frustrating for the Lions. And there's nothing you can do about it, no matter who the team is. If you can put pressure on them early with the front 4, then you can dominate a football game. Like it's absolutely amazing how that works, right? The QB is the highest paid position. But without that offensive line, he's nothing. In a defense, you get the defensive backs as the highest paid position on the pass rushers. Pass rushers highest paid position because they could go get the quarterback. But the next highest paid position is the cornerback, right? Because he can drop back there and he can take a guy away. Well, here's the issue. The cornerback will look great if the D line gets to the quarterback. So to me, the D line is always going to be the most important position on defense. As much as I love my linebackers and safeties and corners, and it's going to be the D line because you need them. We've witnessed all too long in Baltimore what happens when you don't get to the quarterback. And here's a crazier thing. Despite us getting to the quarterback last week, we still only won 24-18 or something like that. I don't even remember what the score was. It was close at the end. It was close. We had a chance to blow them boys away, and we didn't because our offense couldn't score. Why? Because they were able to get to our quarterback. That's how important it is. Hey, Roquan's a beast. Roquan's a beast, but he's a leader. He's our leader, right? You need the inside linebacker to be a leader. You need him to play all over the field. But without pass rush, he's virtually useless. Let's be honest. Unless he's blitzing. Yeah, I can hear you, my little one coughing in the background. Even she's sick. So this whole household is getting whooped right now. We need to block. He a beast. Oh, okay, yeah. Hutchinson is a monster. Yes. Tucker did have a field goal thought. We decided not to get into the end zone. We decided field goals were the key. I don't know why, but it's what we did. And yeah, and unfortunately, the whole crib was under attack at one point. Most of us are doing better. My little one, she got a little cough still. I'm still a little sick, but we fight through and do what we got to do. Offense is spread inside the 5. It's gross. We better off ask. Yeah, listen. Our offense in the goal line. You're absolutely right. Inside the 5, we're terrible for some reason. But that's when we pull out the plays where we run Lamar, which is to me still terrible. We have this running back on our team. I don't know if a lot of people know this, right? I don't know if John Harbaugh knows this. We have this running back on our team, right? He's a power back. He does this thing where he falls forward for 3-4 yards every time. His name is Gus Edwards. And for some reason, he doesn't touch the ball around the goal line. I don't know if that seems like a coaching decision to me. You put your scat back in and hope that he can get in the end zone. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. To me, I'll line up. If you get me inside the 5, I will line up 4 times in a row and hand Gus Edwards the ball. And if he doesn't get in the end zone, fine. I'll learn my lesson. But until you do that, there's no excuse why he shouldn't have the ball falling forward for at least 2 to 3 yards every time until he falls right in the end zone. Somebody give me a reason why that wouldn't happen. Somebody call Harbaugh, say, hey, John, if you get inside the 5, can we use Gus? We got Gus and we got a 300-pound fullback. That seems like the perfect combo to put in down around the goal line. Just saying. Thank you, Living Legend. Thank you, Miss Yolanda. I appreciate y'all. A Ravens win will make the whole house. You're absolutely right, it will. You're absolutely right, it will. We'll all be screaming in joy until we lose our voices, and I'm already halfway there. So that won't take much for me. But a Ravens win is important today because, as I said earlier, we need to prove that we're a top 10 team, that we're a playoff team, and that we're a viable threat to win the championship. Because up until now, we haven't beaten anybody of importance. The Bengals were hurt and porous. We played Houston when they didn't know what they were doing yet. We've played terrible. Cleveland with DTR starting, rookie quarterback. So we haven't really played any top tier teams. So this is our first real test this year. And this will give us a good judge of where this team lies. And if they are who I hope they're not, they'll win this game. You know what I mean? Even the Panthers knew to use Mike Tober on short yardage. Yes. And again, it boils down to coaching, right? John Harbaugh has a stubbornness about him where he's not willing to give in to what should be done, right? He wants to be this run-heavy team from the 20 to the 20. But then when you get inside the 20, from the 1 to the 15 or 1 to the 19, he wants to be spread out passing the ball. He wants to hand it to the fast backs. He wants to hit Justice Hill. and do all these trick plays. He wants to get behind Mark Andrews and run the ball like we're Mark Andrews. What? What are we doing? We're not the Chiefs. We're not the Chiefs. We're not the Eagles. We're not all these other teams that pull out these trick plays. We're going to do this straightforward, right? The Chiefs do that because they don't have a power back. Well, they do now with Pacheco, but prior, they didn't have a power back. Now, have you seen the Chiefs do that this season? The Chiefs have not done that this season. Why? Because they got Pacheco. He gets down there, he powers the ball in. You need to do the same thing with Gus. Get down there, power the ball in. And they'll say, I just put Keaton Mitchell in my starting lineup for good luck. Man, I don't believe that worth a dang. Because you're smart enough. You're a smart enough fantasy player that you know what you're dealing with John Harbaugh. And Keaton Mitchell isn't going to be the asset we will hope he will be for fantasy reasons. But he can come in and provide a couple big third down plays for us, I think. And I'm hoping for. Keaton, I like Keaton. I'm a big fan of Keaton Mitchell. Like, he's one of those prospects that you see when you're in the preseason and you're like, oh, I like this kid in college. I can't wait to see what he does in the preseason. He should be nasty. Like, his speed is crazy. And it actually translates. As soon as he stepped on the field, the difference between him and the guys he was facing was astronomical, right? Usually you see these guys come in, you're like, okay, well, it's backup versus backup. And you kind of see where it's kind of a battle. It's kind of a tit for tat, back and forth type thing where you see, okay, it's backups against backups. But when you see a guy come out and outright dominate other backups like Keaton Mitchell did, you knew, okay, he's a real talent. He's going to be a real NFL asset. Like, it was clear as day that he was head and shoulders better than everybody else that he was on the field with at the time. He said, I really did. My other backs were on the bye, and hopefully he provides a spark. Okay, I respect that. And I hope he provides a spark too. Hendo must got McCaffrey as a back. Yeah, probably does. Yeah, a living legend. Listen, I think it was last week. This week I got a couple guys on bye, but last week I had like 3 wide receivers on a bye. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? I'm picking up people out of free agency that I know I would never play. I know I barely won to. I actually lost, but had I played the right defense, because I played Philly's defense last week and I shouldn't have. I should have played Jacksonville's defense. I would have won. If I would have played Jacksonville's defense, I would have won by 2 points, but I ended up losing. But it is what it is. I believe in Keaton Mitchell too. Injuries, I drafted JK. He dropped immediately. I was done. There's like, you know how it is in the fantasy league. There's no running backs in free agency. So like I ended up with Gus Edwards as a starting running back, which is fine. He's doing fine for me this year. It's not bad. But you know how it goes. Sleeper pickup, Deontay Johnson off IR, even though Deontay Johnson is going to be a good pickup. He's going to be a phenomenal pickup, actually. That's the only reason. I'm going to be honest with you, Living Legend. Coaches League, that defense is the reason why I won a lot of games. All right? The defense is the reason why I won a lot of games. Before we go, though, we're going to get ready to end this because the game's going to be starting soon. Actually, it's probably starting now. But so my predictions, I'm going to take the Ravens over the Lions. And I'm going to go, the defense is going to be the reason why. And I'm going to go Ravens win 22-14. 22-14. I'm taking a Ravens win 22-14. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. What are your predictions? Miss Yolanda says Ravens 24-21. Hendo. Oh, no. Lions by 8. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Even though like I said earlier this week, I did say I picked the Lions to win 24-17. But I've had a change of heart. There's a feeling flowing through me today that feels like the Ravens are going to get this dub. All right, Baseball Life says Ravens. Living Legend says Ravens, 30-20. All right, 34-28, specifically by Baseball Life, right? Baseball Lifestyle. Mr. J the 6 says Lions by 3. Interesting. Jay, just for that, Jay, your Panthers are going to lose every game the rest of the season. I know that's what you're looking for anyway. Right? I don't know why y'all tanking again. This is sad. Y'all got to do something about that over there. Miss Yolanda said, Wade will be the difference maker. Go Ravens. So one other thing before I go, my hero and zero from week 6. I'm gonna make this quick. I didn't do it in my shorts because I was sick, so I didn't do my YouTube short this week. So my hero and zero from week 6 last week. My hero is the Jets defense for forcing 3 turnovers on a Pro Bowl quarterback and Mr. Jalen Hurts and a monster Eagles squad that they beat. And then my zero for last week is none other than the kicker for the San Francisco 49ers. You somehow blew 2 kicks that lost you a game against the spring football champion superhero for the Cleveland Browns, and it's kind of despicable. So that's your hero and zero of last week's football. Y'all, Mike, how dare you? How dare you come in here, sir? How dare you come in here and pick Detroit? Sir, that hurts, right? That hurts. Especially since you're a Rams fan. You need as many losses in the NFC as possible. You're going to take Detroit by that hurts, sir. That hurts. And you probably bet against us, too. I don't appreciate that. The San Francisco offense did lose the game, right? But let's be honest. If your kicker, they lost by 2. If their kicker hits those other 2 field goals, they win. So you could just as well say the offense did just enough to win, but the special teams failed them, right? It kind of goes both ways. Because I know in Baltimore, if Justin Tucker misses a kick that, several kicks in a game, which he does not do, if he did that, we'd be like, oh, well, Justin Tucker lost us the game, man. We did just enough to win, but he couldn't hit those kicks. I think we would put some blame on him, even though maybe not, because he is great. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Hendo says Baltimore has the ball first. I didn't even turn the game on yet. So I'm going to get out of here. Y'all go and enjoy the game. Thank every last one of y'all for coming through. I love y'all. Have a blessed day. And maybe I'll see y'all after the game. All right, stay blessed. Peace.